They only had slightly more of the ball than Watford, but look at those shots on goal statistics. They certainly tell a story. Watford had 20 shots, 8 of them on target, outdoing United in that department. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asked after the game about the display, called it the worst performance that United have had since he took the helm, which is now 20 games. Stevie, would you concur? Was it that bad?
Yes, it was. They got completely outplayed. Listen, we always talk about the game's all about results, but I would suggest that Solskjaer, as well as getting results, his team has to put a performance on. And as performances go, this was awful. And yes, I would say this is worse than the Wolves in the FA Cup. I think that would be the one before that. So, yeah, this was awful.
And that's the one I was thinking about, which is where we left off, really, with United, wasn't it? Would you say this was worse?
No, I thought the Wolves' performance was worse. But yeah, that doesn't put this in any of a better light, this performance. And to be fair here, as much as I'm going to be critical of Manchester United, I thought Watford was simply outstanding on the day, and we should give them their fair dues. But Manchester United offered not a lot by way of thought. They offered not a lot by way of taking this game as any Manchester United team, home or away, should do, let alone this game being at Old Trafford. Again, you see the threat that Manchester United poses on the counter-attack. Outstanding ball by Luke Shaw, great finish by Marcus Rashford. But outside of that, this doesn't say Manchester United at all over the course of this game.
Solskjaer also offered up, it sounded like an excuse, Stevie, lots of players coming back from injuries, coming back from international break. Remember, they were missing 10 players against PSG. A lot of those players still work. Is that justified?
That sounds like 20 other teams in the Premier League, or 19 other teams. Every single team's going through it.
Yeah.
Listen, when you play for Manchester United or any of the big teams, that doesn't come as an excuse. You're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to hold yourself to a higher standard. You have to perform to a certain level every time you step on the field. And what makes this one worse than the Wolves one for me is it's at home. That's the difference. They're at home, they're getting pegged back, and they're getting completely dominated in the middle of the field. I mean, seriously, We spoke about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What does he have to do to prove that he deserved the job?
Yeah.
And the one thing we all said was that, well, he has to make sure there's not a drop-off between now and the end of the season. Now, yes, they got the result, but if they perform like that, I'll tell you what, Man United might be thinking a different thing come the end of the year.
To build on what Stevie's saying, a few weeks ago, I was all praises for Solskjaer, given the fact that they had injuries. And he never made it an excuse. He continued to put out sides that went to the opposition and made the running for the most part. Now, all of a sudden, you find yourself, and maybe it's just a circumstance of where we are right now, that he's just signed a new contract and the guys a win. But now, all of a sudden, he's blaming injuries. And again, this is Manchester United. He doesn't need me to tell him that. Manchester United, every single international break, have to cope with players being away. It's part and parcel of managing a top club in any European league, especially if you're Manchester United. That was the case with Sir Alex Ferguson when he was there. It's nothing new, or shouldn't be anything new or novel for Solskjaer.
Well, the performance today probably hasn't changed many opinions about whether the hiring of Solskjaer was the right thing at the right time. Shaka, for you, would you have done it?
Yeah, I would have. I think he's done enough as manager, or he did enough as manager, to at least be given a chance. And as we sit right now, if you're thinking who's the right man, who's the right long-term manager for Manchester United, the only name that comes to mind, and that's readily available, is Pochettino.
Yeah.
And given the fact that he signed a 5-year deal, just over 12 months ago, and to try to get him, you have to get Daniel Levy. There's absolutely no guarantee there. So without securing the services of Solskjaer, you're going into a very uncertain future all the same. That might just end you right back at Solskjaer's doorstep.
For more, sign up now for ESPN Plus.